Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum. I welcome you all to today's New Bangladesh. Here, as usual, we shall discuss about our new citizens, new people, new culture, new economy, new laws, new science, new education, overall, new Bangladesh. Today, in our studio, as our guest, present Barrister Ashraf Rahman, Advocate, Bangladesh Supreme Court. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Awesome.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine. What about you?
Fine, thank you, sir. Now, tell us about you in brief, sir.
I'm a barrister. I have completed my LLB from University of London. Thereafter, I have completed my bar at law from uh, Cardiff University, which is located in Welsh. And thereafter, I have called to the bar in Lincoln's Inn. And then I come back to Bangladesh. Firstly, I have been enrolled in the Judge Code, and later on, I have been enrolled in the Supreme Court of Bangladesh. And I'm practicing, alhamdulillah, successfully, where I'm always trying to secure rights of the civil citizens and the public of Bangladesh.
Thank you, sir. Our today's topic is basically law reform of Bangladesh. You know, sir, the laws in our country, they're basically made during British period, just after the Sepoy Mutiny, probably near about 1887, by Lord Macaulay. So they are very much old laws, I should say ancient laws. Do you think that those laws are now can help our country, can help our people?
Thank you. It's a very good question, to be very honest, because our major laws has been enacted in the British period. If you notice that the penal code has been enacted on 1860, which is the most important law for the criminal law. That is the mother of criminal law, to be very honest. And you will notice the procedural law of the criminal, that how the criminal cases will function and how the criminal cases will run. It is described in Code of Criminal Procedure, which has been shortly known as CRPC, which has been enacted in 1898. And in civil cases, you will see the CPC has been enacted on 1908. And the ASOR Act is a very ancient law as well. All has been enacted in the British period, and so law should be changed. Basically, law has been made for the betterment of the nation, betterment of the society, betterment of the public. So with time to time, the law should be changed, law should be updated, law should be modified.
Thank you, sir. During my school life, I read a novel named La Miserable. It's written by Victor Hugo, French writer, where he showed that basically people are not for law, but laws are for people. Do you think that those laws made by Lord Macaulay, they are laws for the people, or people are for those laws?
Basically, if we see the law jurisprudence, we will see that the law has been enacted to control the people, govern the country and all. Of course, the law should be enacted or governed for the help the nation, for the people. But we have seen there are some laws which has been enacted or implemented in our country only to rule the public and to stop the public.
Public. Yes, sir. Now, as regards, there are two things: jurisprudence, and again, you are telling about penal courts. As regards penal courts, do they have? I mean, that British people, do they have penal courts in England or in Britain?
The penal code is a very vital law in Bangladesh. There is no such law which has been which can replace the penal code, and there are a lot of countries. Penal code is basically mother of criminal law, to be very honest.
But do you think that they are the same, the penal courts in England and penal courts in Bangladesh or Indian subcontinent, they are the same? Do they coincide?
Yeah, if you follow, India has the same penal code, and Bangladesh is almost the same, but almost identical. But there are some changes, which are minor changes, but majority law are same. Basically, you should in terms of law, you should see how the law has been implemented, because as you said earlier, that the law are for the people. If you think the law has been enacted for the people, then you should apply for the betterment of the people. If there is no law, then the country is full of criminal offenses, right?
Okay, now in today's England, is there any death penalty?
In England and Europe, there is no death penalty.
But we still are having the death
Yeah,
penalty.
we have death penalty. You should be aware that even the European Union, that is known as shortly EU, if you have the death penalty in your country, that you cannot be a member of the EU. That is the basic requirement, because their common view is no one should be convicted for death. If you committed an offense, you should be punished for imprisonment for life, but not the death penalty.
Well, as far as I know, that in Europe, in England, in Western countries, they are paying more and more attention to jurisprudence. So what we are doing in our country?
We should follow the basic of the law. We should understand why the law has been enacted, what is the purpose of law. That is basically jurisprudence, how the law has been enacted, why the law has been enacted, what was the necessity for the nation, what is the necessity for the society to control the society, to free a country, free a society from the criminals, to keep calm the society. That's in our country. We should focus on the jurisprudence, and we should have knowledge. Basically, who has implemented or enacted the law, they should know and should have knowledge about the jurisprudence, because without knowledge of jurisprudence, no one can make the law, to be very honest.
Well, thank you. As you mentioned that you studied in England, your basic degree, law degree is from England, not in Bangladesh.
No,
not in Bangladesh. Okay. Did you study philosophy there?
Yeah.
What about Bangladesh? Do they teach philosophy here in Bangladesh in law curriculum?
In Bangladesh.
In depth? What do you think?
In depth, yes.
In depth. Okay, that's good. I need to ask the question, what is now a hot question in Bangladesh, or hot topic in Bangladesh, that is the ban of Bangladesh Awami League. It's a political party, very old political party, and it worked for many years in our country. But what happened during the July Revolution, they made massive killing. They killed a few thousand of our children, and so many other things they did, which we showed that evil works. Okay, now the Generation Z is demanding, obviously, we the guardians are also demanding that this Awami League should be banned. So what is your opinion, or what law says about this?
Basically, my opinion is a party who will be banned. This is completely depend upon the election commission, and this is the government who is running the government. This is their decision, because the election commission is part of the government, right? So I have seen that the NCP and the Generation Z, which you are saying, they are demanding. So if the government feels so, they can ban Awami League, but this is not a function of judiciary to declare a political party to be banned. This is a completely political agent. That is, it should be decided by the political party or the government, which is now performing.
What is the teaching of history? I am telling about the whole world, that to ban a political party, what should be the basis?
Basis, it can be a basis like mass killing and all. It should be a basis, but there is a fear, and we are in apprehension that if a political party has been banned, we have seen that Bangladesh Jamaat Islami has been banned by the in the fascist army regime. We have seen these that they were banned, but did Jamaat is banned? They were in practice. Theoretically, they have been banned, but in practice, they were functioning in the disguise of other organization. And we have seen that some Shibir, a student politician, was a member of the Awami League, a Chhatra League, right? So, and if you ban a political party who has an immense number of immense members, so sometimes we see that there are so many terrorist organizations we have seen in Afghanistan, and our constitution gives protection and rights for the assembly and politics.
So you want to say that if a political party is banned, they can go underground,
yes,
and act like that. Okay.
And basically, it can act as a terrorist organization,
organization,
and
yes.
in the disguise of other political. And you know, in Bangladesh, there are not a lot of unregistered political parties. In the name of name of a political party who does not have registration or any office or anything, just they have the name and just they are
Signboard and name and
name,
pads like
nothing
this.
else,
Yeah,
nothing else.
Okay, no, in that case, the election commission can work. Those who don't have any registration or what we say nibandhan,
Yeah.
so they are not allowed to participate in the election.
Yeah, true.
But I don't think that election commission has the right to ban any party.
If the election commission thinks so, and the government, this is completely a government decision. If the government want, then they can proceed accordingly. We have seen earlier it happened in Bangladesh. So since this earlier happened, so there is a example. So a precedence, or we can say, and the precedence and the government can follow.
Well, in Europe, the fascist or Nazi parties, they are banned basically.
Yeah.
And in some countries, Asian and some Latin American countries, Communist Party is also banned like this. So we have examples.
Yeah, we have example, and there are a lot of banned organization in Bangladesh as well. One of the banned party is the Hizbut Tahrir, you know, the banned organizations. And a political party is a very big political party, that is Jamaat Islami. It was banned too, and it will be hard that the Jamaat has filed an appeal, which is pending before the appellate division, and it will be heard soon about the banned issues. They do not have any registration now, so they are participating. They are filed an appeal challenging their registration.
Well, as regards law reform, you know, who has the right to reform the law?
Reform the law. Now in Bangladesh, there is an independent law reform committee which is presided by a justice and who are involved with the law. They are concerned authority in Bangladesh to
reform law, but it should be passed in the parliament, I think.
Parliament is not accountable or not acting for reforming the law. You know, in Bangladesh, there are law reforming bodies or the parliament subcommittees. There are the comprising members from the secretary, academicians. They are the independent body or a committee of parliament.
But finally, it should be passed in the parliament.
Law has to be passed or amended or from the parliament.
From the parliament. No, now here the question arises that since the parliament members, they are the lawmakers or they are the law amenders or law reformers, but how many of them are basically lawyers, are having basic knowledge on law?
In practice in Bangladesh, to be very honest, the parliament and the member of parliaments are the law. They are just passing the law, but they are not enacting the law because they do not have knowledge of law. Because I think at best 15 to 20% members of the parliament are the lawyers, not more than that. So they do not have the basic knowledge of law, which is very important. Just others parliamentary committee or from the secretary, they just enacted a law, draft a law. They, being a member of parliament, you should scrutinize the law where a law has infringed the rights of the citizen or where a law is securing the rights of interest. That is very important and very crucial for a member of parliament. So, but since they do not have the basic knowledge of law, I think they completely failed to reflect the general people expectations or mandate, and they are just passing the law by saying yes, something
like this. Well, then who is responsible? The structure of the parliament or the people's consciousness or something like that? Who is responsible for this?
To be very honest, this is my very personal view. People consciousness is very important in the system of our politics should change because you are a citizen of Bangladesh, I am a citizen of Bangladesh, and you know, if you are not engaged with a political party, in Bangladesh in practice you cannot be a member of parliament. You have to be heavily involved with the political party. You have to give time, participate in every demonstration, and there are a lot of system in Bangladesh. So this is not a system where everyone can participate. So, and in our country, we have seen that in national elections there are some independent candidates. But have you seen, without political affiliation, how many can win the election? We have seen that you must have affiliation with the political party. If not, you must be a member of this or heavily engaged with the political party. If the political party do not give you the nomination, then you can oppose, and he may be the member of parliament. But a fresh person who is serving the society, work for people does not vote him.
Yes.
So this is the problem. So our consciousness is very important, very important. And another problem is that in Bangladesh election system, you will see that we need lot of workers in the election system in Bangladesh. We have seen in my area is Brahmanbaria, Nabinagar. If I give you an example of my area, there are more than, I think, 160 election center. So just think how many people you need. So just you are good for the nation, you are working for the human society, you are working for the people, does not mean that you can be a member of parliament. You need a political structure, you need a lot of people, you need money. You need huge money to be a leader and all. So I think to some extent we people are we need more conscious. We should select a person in the election, and we should select a person who will represent us in the parliament. It's very important.
Okay. Well, in Europe, I visited the upper house of a parliament. In our country, we don't have any upper house of the parliament. Do you think that we should make an upper house of the parliament? We need it.
This is a very good question. In England, there are two houses of parliament. One is House of Commons and one is House of Lords. House of Lords is consisted by is known as upper house of the parliament, and in House of Commons is the lower house of the parliament. I'm just explaining.
Yes, please explain it.
House of Commons is consisted by the elected members, elected parliament members, like our country, elected member of parliament. And House of Commons consisted of the justices, civils, and the representing of the civil society. It can be a professor, it can be the human rights worker, and so on, doctors, professionals, so on. So when you have a upper house, then since a lot of people from the House of Commons has not expertise, and the upper house has the role of supervisory power to govern them, and they can give their opinion which will be the betterment of the public. As you said earlier, I'm just going back. A lot of parliamentary member has no knowledge about the law who are enacting the law. So if a house of law, and I said that in Bangladesh people need more consciousness. If we have an upper house, in the Bangladesh parliamentary system, I think it will be very helpful. Then a lot of professionals and member of civil society can come and they just give opinion, and I think their value, their opinion, their criticism should be appreciated.
Okay. Now the word House of Lords sounds like that only lords are the members of that house. It is not that in reality. No, the professors and scientists, they are also the members of that.
In Bangladesh, as you know, the Tariq Rahman proposed 31 points, and one of the point is about the upper house of the upper house. This is, I think, in the context of Bangladesh, is very, very important. And Tariq Rahman, who is the Tariq Rahman is observed the importance in Bangladesh, and that's why he proposed these 31 points.
Now again comes the consciousness of the people. In India, there is upper house. That actress Rekha was the member of that upper house. So if we select or elect that type of member in upper house, will it help?
It will have, it depends actually. If maybe she is an actress, but if she has contribution for the nation, contribution for the society, and that and entertainment, media, this is a part of our democracy, part of our country. So if she adds some contribution, then I think this is fine, no problem.
Well,
In Bangladesh, we have seen that in the interim government, you have seen that Mustafa Sarwar Farooqi is one of the advisor. So the government feels that he may have some role, he may add some value in the government. That's why maybe he is added.
Well, in Europe, in some countries, I saw that in the lower chamber of the parliament, there are two types of parliament members. One are elected from the people, and others are basically selected from the quota of different parties, and they are basically coming by merit. Do you think that this type of system can be introduced in our parliament as well?
It can be introduced. The second one, the system from the different political party, that is what we are saying, that national government. We are proposing, and some political parties are demanding to, so that we will see that there are some, like Communist Party, there's Hafazat Islam, then some Islamic parties, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, Bangladesh Awami League Party, Jatiya Party. There's a lot of parties are representing, especially the small parties are representing a group of people of the society. Islamic parties are representing this Islamic people, or what
Islamic-minded people.
Islamic-minded people. And the Communist Party is a different. They represent a different sector. So, and there are so many political parties. So at least if we can represent ensure that a government should represent all the nations. So in that sense, government, they can add a political person from a different political party.
Parties.
Yes.
So what you
but
told,
subject to, again I'm saying, subject to registration and all.
Registration. Now what you told, that a political to become the member of the parliament, he must be the member of a political party, he must have money, he must have people, that means workers, only then he can be elected. But if a person is intelligent, a good scientist, a good professor, okay, but by merit, he's an important person, then if we introduce this type of system that he can be the member of the parliament by merit, so that would be better, I think.
Of course. This is the reason our acting secretary of Bangladesh Nationalist Party, he proposed the upper house where this type of people can be introduced. And then their value, their opinion is very important for the nation. A scientist has a knowledge, or an engineer has the knowledge how to develop our country, how to, and this is a era of technology. So all the lawyers, even if
media people can be there,
sports persons,
retired bureaucrats, retired generals,
everyone should be included, and they will reflect, they will observe the lower part of the parliaments. They will observe, and they will give their value. They can, their opinion can create, add some value.
Now, as regards laws, as I know that there are two types of laws in our country: criminal laws and civil laws. So, what are the differences between these two types?
Basically, civil laws are related to, in general, the civil laws. What we understand that it regards to the land-related laws, family laws, and then this type of laws, and criminal laws which prevent the accused, prevent the offense.
Now, as regards civil laws, especially related with lands, it takes a lot of time to make the verdict. So, what are the causes behind this?
Again, I'm saying the process of the civil law, laws are enacted has been a long ago. So, at that time, law, of course, for a purpose, but now this is more than 200 years. So a society has been changed completely. We will see that, we can see that basically the records in terms of the civil cases, land related cases, then there are so many records which are not digitalized. So people are made and fabricated documents submitting, because all are the handwritten, not digitalized. And in civil cases, the problem is there are long process, because you need to follow the court process. We have seen that years and years go, but the people did not get any result. It takes sometimes 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years. So and sometimes we have seen that the legal cost for a case is higher than the asset value.
As asset value, yes.
So I think this law should be changed, because there are a lot of typical laws, to be very honest, that if we say so, that someone should be executed through some law process. But now we can, in this modern technology society, even we can execute someone means informing the opposite party through an email, in WhatsApp, or the main purpose to notify him. If he is notified, then that is fine.
Yes, fine.
And we have seen that a judge or magistrate is waiting for this type of procedural matters. Opposite party willingly causing delay. If you are in abroad, in Bangladesh is full of unemployment. This is it's curse for our country, I think.
Yes.
Few millions people staying in abroad. So if you are in abroad, there is no process to give evidence or appear before the court. This is another reason for delay. So if we can introduce the digital digital system by using the digital technologies, then I think this duration can be reduced, and people will get justice ultimately.
Oh, well, during the last regime, I think fascist regime, there was a new law, Dolil Jar Jomitar. Okay, some are telling that yes, that's a good law introduced. Some are telling that it was basically introduced to help the Jamindars, that to regain the Chirusthai Bondobosto, but the descendants of the Jamindars can come and claim those lands again. So what do you think about this?
Dolil Jar Jomitar, this is the law has been enacted in 2023.
Yeah.
Basically, in Bangladesh, again, I'm saying the problem as to the registration process and the records, because who is the owner of this land is completely depend upon the papers. If you have the papers, then you can claim it. But in Bangladesh, we have seen that the surveyor goes to the visit the land and all, but if they do not find you, they record it in another's name. And in bribe, for some other reasons, the names or the owners has been changed. So it should not be like this, but you have to examine who is the real owner. That is very important, I think. Who is the real owner? Because without identifying who is the real owner, there is a controversy, right? Because if every documents, deeds were up to date and online based, then it would not have been a problem. Basically, if I have the deed, then I'm the owner. That is the normal view, right? But we have seen a lot of acts which are illegal has been done and made fabricated documents.
Well, can those Jamindars claim those lands now?
No, because they left the right. And somewhere...
Is it mentioned in that new law that Jamindars will not be able to claim those lands?
Actually, I'm not sure about this, so I'm not passing any comment. But even in Bangladesh, if you left the right for a land for a long time, then you will lose the right to claim it, because ultimately all the lands are for the in UK. If I say all the lands are for the queen, the owner, queen. So if you do not use your land, then the queen will be the owner.
In our country, the same. All the lands belong to the country. I mean,
yes.
to the republic.
So yes, republic. So we have to ensure the best use of the lands. So this is the reason, if you lose the right of, or do not claim the right of the land for many years, 60 years, then who is working in the land or who is staying in the land, she can claim.
Well, as regards criminal laws, we have experiences sometimes that a completely innocent person is getting punished. So how can we explain this?
The basic maxim of a criminal law, 100 accused can be free, but no innocent can be convicted.
Yes.
So in nowhere there is no scope a innocent should be convicted.
But it happened in our country. Why it happened?
Why? Because the misuse of law in criminal cases. This is my point of view, and I believe the most important work is important part is police, because the judges do not go to the place of occurrence. They cannot ask the general people how the offense has been committed. They cannot go to someone's house and examine the CC camera footage, since they are holding office. Police, that is our police duty to investigate the matter, since they are the investigation authority. So they will go to the place, they will examine every documents, they will talk to the local citizens, visit the place, collect the evidence. After getting all this, they will submit a document, which is a very important documents. So if they do not perform their act properly and fairly, then it will be very difficult. So I think to avoid harassment of the general people, or to avoid illegally punished, this type of evidence is very important, because if every documents are if we do not find the true information, we have to rely on that. The judges have to rely on the evidences. There's nothing to do. So that is very important.
So judges are depending on the paper documents like this, paper evidences are like
evidences, paper evidences, and the oral evidence which is given by the court. Suppose a person who is very poor, who has no ability to engage a good lawyer, or even he has no ability to engage any lawyer, or merely a lawyer, right? So who has not skilled in criminal law, or he has not any expertise in cross-examination, then how can he ensure your right? It's very difficult. So in Bangladesh, our judicial system is very difficult. The judge has to rely on the papers, evidences including the documentary evidence and the oral evidences. Even if the police and the opposition party submitting the oral documentary evidence, if you find a good lawyer, then he has the ability, or he has the ability to change the case by raised question, by clear suspicion. But for that, you have to find a good lawyer. You have to engage a good lawyer. You need money. In Bangladesh, it's very difficult for poor people, to be very honest.
Are you not taking initiative, you the lawyers, good lawyers, to help our people?
Of course, this is our moral duty, and it's every person should have ethics. Even in my career, I have done some cases which is called as pro bono. That means free work, free. I have seen in last week, a young boy had a love affairs with a girl, and they just left their home and they stayed together for the purpose of marriage. But by the meantime, the police has been arrested the guy and recovered the girl. The problem was that the girl was minor. That is the problem. She is 15 years old.
15 years minor, yeah.
15 years old. And the boy is also young. He is only 19 years old. And they had a love affairs. That he was in the custody for more than 9 months. Where the girl, the victim, when she gave a statement before the magistrate, she admitted, she said that I had a love affair. I willingly went with him, and we stayed together willingly. There is no force, no deception. So to commit a offense of abduction or kidnap, she must have to be taken by force or deception since she is young. But she has admitted. But the lower court, magistrate, and the session judge did not grant his bail because the girl was minor. This is a procedural defect. But where the girl herself admitted that she willingly went with him, they did not consider. And I moved in the High Court division and I secured bail. And I did not take any money for this because if it was a rich man's son, if he was a rich man's son or it happens to a rich man, he may get the bail within 15 days probably. He can hire a good lawyer. But since he's poor, very poor, he did not engage in a good lawyer, did not get the proper legal service. When I heard that, someone sent the case to me, I just secured the bail within 2 days. So that is the problem of our country. It related to money, it related to the system. Because a good lawyer can focus or know the loopholes of a case and present before the court. And a good lawyer only knows the law, explanation of law, which a general lawyer or normal lawyer can't. So this is how our society is continuing.
Okay, thank you very much for helping that poor person. Now as regards judges, there are judges in the lower courts and in the higher courts, and finally you have Supreme Court, I think.
Yeah.
So what is the process of recruitment of judges? Can you explain it?
Recruitment of judges. In the lower court, we have seen the first tier is magistrate. The magistrate, in order to be a magistrate, you have to, magistrate are appointed by the judicial authority. They have to pass the BGS exam. So if you qualified in the BGS exam, I think there are some training, then he will be a magistrate of the lower court. And after that promotion, they went to the sessions courts or tribunal. And in High Court division, then some judges are elevated from the lower court, our lower court judiciary, and some justices are straight appointed by the from the lawyers, basically, who has practiced more than 10 years. So this is the judge appointment system.
Now, who is selecting, or who is the authority or body to select these justices in High Court?
Selected in the High Court, the recommendation of the Chief Justice, our President.
Our President. Okay. Do you think that there are political influences in this recruitment?
100% political influence, to be very honest. Without political affiliation, no one can be the judge in the context of Bangladesh. Though it sounds, I'm sometimes, it sounds bad, but this is truth and reality. In Bangladesh, when the ruling party, the supporters of ruling party, or the affiliation with the ruling party, politicians or the lawyers can be a judge in the High Court division. And in fact, though they were the judge in the lower court, but they may have a political views or helps a political party in their during their office. So only those people can be the judge of the Supreme Court. So there is the political. The political involvement is political influence is not direct, but indirectly there are huge political influences. One of the example I want to give that is that you will see that the judge who has convicted Tariq Rahman, who has convicted Khaleda Zia, they all were elevated to the High Court division from the lower court.
Right, of course.
That is the reward for their illegal conviction of Tariq Rahman and Khaleda Zia. This is how it works in our country. That is very unfortunate.
And during the last regime, there are some justices, those were of very poor educational background, having third divisions or something like this. they shouldn't be in those responsible posts, but they were selected there by political influences.
100% political
So
influences.
how can we change it?
This interim government is trying to change the system, and they already established an independent judge appointing authority, and especially our Chief Justice Rifat Ahmed, who is an Oxford graduate, Dhaka University, very educated and honest man. He's trying to change the system. He's focusing. I personally know him, and he's a very honest man and very patriotism personality he has. So he's trying to establish independent secretary for the judiciary. So by creating an independent body, I think the problem can be solved.
Well, there was another case with Mr. Sinha, Chief Justice Sinha. Basically, as he has written in his book, The Broken Dream, that he was basically overthrown. A Chief Justice overthrown by some people. How could it happen?
There was one influential politician at the Aumi region. His name, he was the mayor of Dhaka South, Dhaka City Corporation South. He openly said in some his political statement that we have thrown a Chief Justice of the country. So everyone should be very conscious. That was a threat for the sitting justices, right? So they just, when a Chief Justice is not a Chief Justice only, he's an organ.
Yes.
Organ of a country. Is very vital. Can a politicians or can a mayor talk like this? That is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. And we have seen that due to when he has talked against that government, the Aumi government, a lot of false allegations brought against him. And we have seen how the government bodies, government agencies created influence on him, and they forced to leave the country, which is very unexpected because he is an organ.
Yes. So how can we
and
make
that Chief Justice is a constitutional post. We should
post,
remember that we should respect them. And Chief Justice and every justice should not be engaged in politics, and they should work for the nation.
Yes, of course. So how can we make our judiciary independent, or how can we make it independent of this political influences? How can it be done?
If there is a separate appointing body, then there will be some criteria. Then if you have 10 years experience, if you conduct that much cases, if it is reported in, the great cases, report in our some law reports, if you have this eligibility, then you can apply like a Viva type or like a job. You can apply for this post. Then after scrutinizing all these, a body, a neutral body, it can be consisted of the former judges who has knowledge and experience, former judges, retired judges, or the academicians, whoever he is. Since that is judges opinion, I think former judges would be the best, retired judges. So they can select the top qualified person instead of the political affiliation. In our country, we have seen who is saying political slogan, given and attending the political procession and the demonstration, they are appointed. It doesn't matter what his quality is.
Now, as regards some laws, as a scientist, I know that in our universe we have a rule of laws. We have many laws like laws of gravitation, Coulomb's law, Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's law. Okay, those laws are basically governing the whole universe. We have a set of laws. That's why we are getting order in our universe. Our universe is well ordered. It is only because of that we have rule of law in our universe. We want to make the same in a state, rule of law. Okay, we think that law and order, basically they are profoundly related. When we have good laws, then we have order. Okay, when we have orders in our society, that means that society is governed by good laws. But there are some laws, what we call black laws, kalo ain in Bengali, kalo ains. If the laws are black laws, how can they govern or how can they help the people? What should we do that there shouldn't be any black laws in our constitution and in our system?
The rule of law is the fundamental theory of a country, and law as well. Law as well, because the law has to be well governed. Then you will get a good society and good country. And what you have said, the black law, Kalo Ain, we have seen in the last regime that there was a Digital Security Act, and later on it is amended as Digital Nirapotta Ain. If you even we have seen that if a civil society or journalist criticize or state something which is against the politics, against the government, or if it is even it's a constructive discussion, he may be convicted or filed a case. The government or the interested person of the government or the political persons filed a case against them. So there was no forum or no scope of constructive discussion, which is a very important and I think mandatory for a well-governed country, right? So by enacting these black laws, the last government tried to stop the mouth and all sort of movement. And one of the laws is Digital Security Act.
Well, during the Dark Age in Europe, there were two things like inquisition and indulgence. The same thing, when someone is telling anything against the church, he was inquised and basically he was burnt alive. And another thing is someone who is basically a criminal, he is giving money to the padris and he is getting rid of it, so which is called indulgence. The same happened during the last fascist regime. There's someone who is telling anything against the government, he is a type of inquised, and if he pays money or gives money, okay, then no problem.
Yeah, we have seen that.
Yeah. So what should be done? What can we do that this type of things do not repeat in future?
A political party, we have seen in the last 17 years that the political party has been elected, and then their mindset up or their view was we will stay in the government till 2040, a long time, by put up a or by everyone, general people oppressing them or not to raise voice against us. People cannot criticize us. All you need to appreciate us. It's very unfortunate. I think you have seen in the newspaper that in a mosque, in a masjid, even we have seen in Jummah, a khatib states anything against the government or for the Islam, which is contradict with the government, he was in the jail. A lecturer of or professor of a university, if he states or write anything for the consciousness or which we can call the constructive criticism against the government, he was in the jail. A lot of journalists was in the jail for criticize the government. But what is our constitution states? Constitution ensure our freedom of speech,
Yes.
which is enriched in which is states in Article 39 of the Constitution. So a law, if it is contradict with the Constitution, as per the Constitution, it should be abolished, no effect. But for the purpose to rule the nation, for the purpose of the oppression to and to oppress the general people and to stay in the government, they enacted the law and just misuse the law.
Yes. I know even a professor was telling hadith in the classroom lecture, and he lost his job just to tell the hadith in the classroom. It happened during the last regime,
Yes.
and a Buet teacher also lost his job just writing 3-4 lines in Facebook. And he didn't write anything against the government, but the judges, convicted judges, accused that no, behind this post, you wanted to tell something, just like this, as if those judges are antarjami. It happened. Well, as regards that, I'm telling that as regards civil laws, that it takes a lot of time. Okay, the cases delays. Okay, then we need quick judgment. But what happened, during this last few months, the rape cases were increasing, and people were demanding quick verdict of those cases. So, do you think that it's okay?
There is a common maxim in law that justice hurried and justice buried. So everyone has the right to fair trial. Everyone has the right to prove his innocence before the court. If you hurried, if you look for a very quick disposal, which is sometimes very impossible, because there are some institutions or body are working together. In a rape case, since you asked me, you have to understand, when a girl has been, there's allegation of rape. I'm saying allegation of rape. When I'm saying the word allegation, because that is not conclusive. There is a allegation. It can be proved right or wrong, right? So first of all, a case has been filed in the police station or the court, and the main authority is the police to investigate, inquire the matter. So they will visit everything, collect evidence, and they will submit a report to the court. Another important thing in case of rape, the medical evidences and the DNA. So without medical evidences, without DNA, how can you submit the report? It takes time, right? So a delay can occur because a lot of some different organs works together, and then a person in the witnesses needs to come. There's maybe so I think a proper process should be followed. If you go for too fast, then the police will not conduct their inquiry properly. They, as per their, since they have their stipulated time, they just for the purpose of their duty obligations, they will submit the report without proper investigation, and the judge will not examine the witnesses. Judge will not examine the analysis of law, and they just will give, the judges will give their verdict. So this is not expected. Rather, a proper time should be given. But we should remember that we do not expect unnecessary delay, because justice delayed is a kind of justice. You did not get the justice, something like that.
The people are demanding.
The maxim is justice delayed is justice denied.
Justice denied.
Justice denied.
Justice
denied. So if a victim needs to go to the court more than 5 years, 6 years, then something like that, justice has been denied. One day she will give up from the case, and she will lost her courage. So a proper time should be given.
Yes, and there is another mention like this: trust but verify. So it should be verified.
Yeah, should be
verified. Okay. Well, now as regards the people now are demanding new laws or amendment of some old laws to our interim government. Do you think that the interim government has the right to make any law or to amend any law?
Enacting law or amending law is a necessity of a country. Since there is no parliament, and this is very uncertain when the parliament will be formed, since this is uncertain, so in case of urgency, the interim government can.
But it should be passed when there will be a new formation of a new parliament.
Yes.
Should be passed. Well, sir, I think I have asked all the necessary questions, touched all the necessary points. Anything left, sir?
Nothing. Again, I'm saying we have to change our mentality. We have to work for our nation, for the society, and all the persons should ensure the public rights. That's it.
Well, I studied in Europe. Though I am a man of science, we were taught law as a minor subject. But since I am a citizen, I need to know the law, basic laws. Okay. Do you think that in our country, in the universities, law should be introduced for each and everyone?
It's a very good question and very good thinking as well. This is the reason I was discussed earlier. The civil society persons, educated person like scientists, academicians should be introduced, because this type of idea, then you will get this type of idea, right? And you can give your opinion. See, a lot of people doesn't know that demanding dowry is an offense. Trust me. A lot of people does not know before 18, even if or you cannot marry. A lot of people does not know about the law, basic law, very basic law. Since we do not have the knowledge, we are committing the offense. And what is the basic of law? Ignorance of law will not give you a defense. So, not in the university level, I believe in school level, it can be 8, 9, 10, the very brief and the very important laws can be taught. Because demanding dowry, nari nirjaton, cyber laws, we are posting you shared a criticizing post. But I just shared because I found it funny. But I am not aware that by this post I am demeaning someone. I am disreputing someone. And this is an offense. And this offense backed up by the sentence. So I do not have knowledge. That's why I have done this. So basic knowledge is very important, I think, and in the school life.
Well, in case of this type of laws, that the age of marriage or something like this, we have Muslim Parivarik Ain.
Yes.
Sometimes this Muslim Parivarik Ain contradicts the Islamic laws. So what can be done for this?
Since we are in Bangladesh, we have to follow the Bangladeshi law. And Islamic laws basically emphasize on the Muslim laws. So this works together, to be very honest.
But there are some contradictions.
Some contradictions.
Islamic laws
But you have to follow. To follow, must have the
law of the land.
Law of the land.
But
yes.
some people are demanding that those law of the land should be amended as well.
This is the ultimate authority is the government. But if there is contradiction, you have to follow the national law.
Well, another thing is that we have some kinds of court called Gramma Adalat, village court, and probably the chairman is the judge of that court. For this reason, that the chairmen or the members, they were not allowed to use the political party's affiliation. But during the last fascist regime, they started doing it, that they started giving their symbols to the candidates of the member or chairman election, and they showed their political affiliations of Awami League and some other parties, and which again contradicted the constitution. So what can you think, what can you tell about this?
This Grammo Shalish Ain has been, so far I have seen or I am aware that this law has been changed, abolished by this interim government, because you know that the local chairman is extremely politically biased to a party, so you can, and they have no knowledge about the law. How can he adjudicate the matter? And whereas there is extreme political affiliation, and there is of course, since he knows the village people, he will be the partisan. So this is unexpected, and I think it should not work like this.
Then how, where the village people will go for justice? To the lower court?
The lower court, definitely. Local lower court. Because a judge is an independent body. He does not know you and the opposition party. So he can work independently by examining the documents and evidences.
Well, sir, thank you. Do you have any suggestion for our new Bangladesh?
I have a suggestion for the new Bangladesh that they are working very well already, and I will expect they will work for the nation, work for the rights of the citizen of the country, and to create accountability of the persons.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Dear viewers, this was all about our today's discussion. I think we had a very lively discussion, and we hope that our laws will be reformed and our laws will work better, and all our lawyers and judges and all the judiciary body will help our people, will work for our people, work for our new Bangladesh. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again in our next episode. Assalamu alaikum.